In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the grace model, how we can use the grace model to shift from emotions that we don't necessarily want to feel, process through them, and shift into the emotions that are empowering, the emotions that we choose, the emotions that we want to have in our life. And when you do this, when you can change the thoughts that you're thinking and change the feelings that you're feeling, the coolest thing happens is it actually changes the reality that you're living. It changes the way you interact with the world, and it changes the way you see things and the way you experience things. And I think it's one of the most probably transformational things that I have learned as I've gone on my healing journey, and I'm super grateful for it. And so now I want to take the knowledge and the information that I have and teach it to you, because everybody needs to know this. Like, everybody needs to be able to have control of their life. They need to be able to know that when you are choosing the thoughts and the feelings that you're having, you are also choosing the life that you're living. And so if you're choosing to feed more into those emotions that we don't typically want, like fear and anger or, worry, those type of feelings, when we choose to feel into those, what we do is we create a reality that is full of those emotions. But if we can learn how to transform those emotions into emotions of peace and love and stability, then we inadvertently change the reality that we're living. Now we're living a reality of peace, of security, of safety. And who doesn't want that, right? Like, who doesn't want that? I just think that is such an incredible gift, an incredible blessing. And so I am here for it. I'm here to teach you guys, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to do this. So today we're going to be using an example from one of my clients. We're going to call her Angie. Of course, I've changed her name, but she gave me permission to use this story or this scenario as we walk through the grace model. So Angie just got into the dating scene. So she's really excited, but she also has a lot of fear and a lot of nervousness around it. So she was telling me, she was like, yeah, at first it was really fun and it was really exciting. And I was just like, texting or, talking to different people. And it was just really lighthearted and it was fun. She said there was no fear involved. She said, but just a couple of days ago, she started feeling a lot of resistance and a lot of fear around, not necessarily the men that she was chatting with or even the dating, just a lot of resistance to a possible change. As we are changing and evolving, we've never been that version before. And so sometimes we can like freeze up and we will self-sabotage because it's scary to change into this new version of yourself that you've never been before. It's easier and it's familiar. I shouldn't say easier. It's definitely more familiar to stay as the old version, right? So in her case, she was shifting into a version of herself that is going to be dating somebody steadily, that is going to be getting married. And that was really scary for her to shift into that, out of just the playful, how was your day, into more, tell me about your dreams, tell me about your passions, tell me about, what kind of a person you are. Like, those more intimate details can be scary, and it can be scary to be vulnerable because, again, like, you're shifting into this new version of yourself. And so we worked through this, and it was a really good session, and I'm really grateful that she's willing to let me share this with you guys. So the first thing that we did, we started with grounding. So when she came in, usually what I do with my sessions is I just kind of let you purge. I just ask you, like, what is it you want to talk about today? And I just let you purge and tell me everything that it is that you are feeling. And it doesn't need to be eloquent. It doesn't need to come out perfectly. What I'm trying to do is just help you to experience and get that out of your system. So that's what she did. So after she kind of told me everything that was going on and what she was wanting to work on, then we moved into the first step, which is G for grounding. And in this step, it is us getting out of our heads, out of that fear, out of that worried about the future, back into our bodies. So our bodies, this is your feminine energy. You're pulling yourself back into your feminine energy. Now, feminine energy is very grounded. Feminine energy is very present, and it's very connected to intuition. And so when you're stuck in your head, and you have all these thoughts running around, we naturally, for some reason, want to go to worst case scenarios, right? And so we will tell ourselves all kinds of stories of hypothetical worst case scenarios. And it just freaks us out. And we all do it. Like, there's no like shame in it. Like, I am like a great storyteller to myself, but you have to catch yourself. So this is you catching yourself and being like, oh, hold on. Like, let's get present. Like, at this moment, is he asking me to marry him? Or at this moment, are we worried about this or this or this? No, like, let's be in this present moment with ourselves, getting out of the head into the body. And after you've done this, you can, take nice deep breaths. I like to have my clients usually close their eyes and just like relax into their body. A lot of times they don't realize it, but their shoulders are tense, or, they'll have a really tight neck, or their back will be tense. And when you just relax into your body, that's you surrendering to it. You're waking up that feminine energy, and you're just being like, hey, it's safe to be here. Like, let's kind of let ourselves just be present in this moment. The next step is R for recognize. Let's recognize where it is in our body we're holding tension. Like, do we feel a lot of anxiety in our chest? Do we feel a lot of anxiety in our stomach? Or are we in our head? Like, where is it that we are feeling that buzzing sensation, or just like the tightness? And once you've located where it is in your body, see if you can also recognize the emotion. Can you name the emotion? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling angry? Like, what emotion are you feeling? Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you might be at such a heightened sense of like anxiety that you can't actually name it. I find that usually you can, but sometimes you can't. So don't get caught up on whether or not you can name, this emotion that you're feeling. I've just found that if you can name it, it loses a lot of its hold over you, a lot of its power over you. So if you can name it and just be like, oh, I'm feeling anger. Oh, that's interesting. And so then you can kind of just like recognize it. It is not able to control you because now you have acknowledged it. But again, if you can't, it's fine. Like, you can still continue through this process. So the next thing is, so we've gone through G for ground, R for recognize. The next is acceptance. A for acceptance. You're going to accept that emotion. So if you're feeling angry, you're going to accept that emotion and be like, okay, I feel angry. That's okay. I can feel angry. Like, I've had a lot of really bad dating experiences. I've had a lot of really traumatic things happen to me. Of course, I'm going to feel angry that I don't get to slide into dating nice and easy. Of course I'm going to be angry about this. So really just radically accepting those emotions. There is nothing wrong with those emotions. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling those emotions. And I don't care what emotion you're feeling. Like, there is not a single emotion that you could feel that would be wrong. So just accept it. A lot of times, once you've accepted that emotion, within a couple of seconds, you like relax into it. So say, for example, you're feeling tightness in your chest. You could be like, okay, I feel angry because I've had so many bad experiences. I feel angry. I feel like I've been cheated the opportunity to just go into dating with innocence and with fun. So you're like, okay, that makes sense. Of course I'm going to be angry. So you're going to breathe into that space and just let yourself be angry. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to die. You will be 100% fine. Sometimes you feel like you will, but I promise you that you will not die. Like, sink into that feeling and just let it be there and breathe into it. It's okay to feel that. And within seconds, that emotion will go away. Sometimes that's the only emotion. It'll be like, okay, great. I'm ready to move on. Other times you might experience another emotion that'll come up. So after processing anger, maybe you're going to feel sad. Like, you're just going to feel deep sadness. Like, I feel so sad for younger me. Like, poor younger me, she didn't even have a chance. She didn't know. She didn't know that this was going to happen to her. Like, oh, my poor younger me. And so you're going to sink into maybe that sadness or whatever emotion it is that you're feeling. And then again, it might be done there. You might move on. But anyways, you will kind of feel like, okay, I'm ready to move on. Either you're just tired of feeling the emotions, or you get to the point where you're like, I think I'm good. I think I feel pretty good. I'm ready to move on. And either one is fine. Like, you don't have to process through every single emotion in order to have healing. You could process through one and be ready for healing. Or you can process through multiple ones and be ready for healing. There's really not a wrong way to do this, as long as you are present in your body and you are allowing yourself to feel. That's really the only requirement that's there. So we were gifted our bodies to be able to process through these emotions. I mean, we were gifted our bodies for like so many things, but one of the really great things about our mortal bodies is that we can process through it. We can breathe. Breath is one of the best ways to process emotion. Tears is a really good way to process through emotion. So if you're crying or if you're breathing, some people will even hiccup or yawn. Those are all ways that you are processing those emotions. Just let it happen. There's not a wrong way to do it. So after you've accepted the emotion that you're feeling and now you're ready to move on, the next step is going to be C, for connect. And this is one of my favorite steps. So in connect, this is where you get to actually ask God, okay, like, who do you want me to be? And so for Angie, as she's going through, that's her name. I can't remember if I told you guys. And of course, I've changed her name. It's not her real name, but Angie is the character that we are using for this story. Anyways, so with Angie, she could ask God and be like, all right, like, who do you want me to show up as? Like, who do I want to show up as? Like, what is the version of me on the other side of this? Maybe, is she more confident? Is she more trusting that God has her back? Is she more willing to be vulnerable and open, yet also trusting her intuition when the intuition says, run, or don't be around this person? Like, what kind of a person does she want to be on the other side of this? Another step in this is asking God, what is your job and what is my job? You know, maybe my job is to trust you. My job is to move forward with faith. My job is to listen to the promptings and the intuition you're giving me. And your job is to keep me safe. I don't need to build walls. And this is kind of what we had come to, what she had come to actually, is she was like, I don't need to build walls. I don't need to perform. I don't need to pretend in order to get people's attention. Like, I want to be the most authentic, true version of myself. I don't want to apologize for who I am. I want to show up with so much authenticity, and I want to attract people that are, one, attracted to that, and two, are just as authentic as well. And then she's able to give God his job back instead of trying to control it and be like, you know, your job is to keep me safe. Your job is to warn me if I need to leave. Your job is to show me or to bring the people to me that align with me. So I love this step. I love the connect step because it really is distinguishing who do I want to show up as, because that's really great self-awareness. If you can get to that point and just be like, who do I want to be? Because when you can decide and find that person that you want to be, that's when you become the person that you want to be. Instead of just being like, oh, I just, you know, I don't know, we'll just see where this goes. Let's not, like, make a decision. Like, who do you want to be? And then you naturally move forward in the way that is going to help you to become that best version of you. And then when you give up control, when you surrender all that to God, the relief that comes, it was so cute. Angie was so cute. I love her. Just the relief of like, oh my gosh, I don't have to pretend. I don't have to try to be this super charismatic woman. I can just be so authentically me, and I can trust that God is going to bring the men that would be attracted to that to me. And it just makes it so easy and so much more fun. Like, she got to go back into the innocence of dating, the feminine way of just being present and enjoying these interactions with these people and not worried and trying to analyze and trying to control what the future is going to be like. Because that's not her job. That's God's job. God is going to take care of the future. Your job and her job was to be present in the moment, to recognize the feelings that she was feeling, to listen to the promptings that she was getting. And so that was a really, really transformational step for her there. And it was really special. So then the last step is E for embody. And this is where you get to decide, am I actually going to follow through with becoming this person that I have chosen? Because, in Angie's case, she had kind of gotten the answer of, you just be present. You be the most authentic version of you and let me take care of the rest. But then the embody stage comes, and then she has to decide, am I willing to actually surrender that control? Am I willing to actually truly just be in my feminine energy, allow myself to be vulnerable, yet also stay connected to my feminine energy and my intuition, which is going to keep her safe. Being vulnerable doesn't mean that you are opening yourself up or allowing other people to hurt you or abuse you. Being vulnerable is, I think a lot of it comes by being connected to your intuition. You can feel like, oh, I can open up here. This feels safe. And that's you being vulnerable, just opening up and sharing. But it keeps you safe as long as you are connected to your intuition. I think that there's just some misconception there when you talk about being vulnerable. It's like, oh, vulnerability gets you hurt. When that's not the case, vulnerability is what makes people love you and adore you and want to be with you because they're able to connect with you. But that's only the case if you are staying connected to your intuition and knowing whether or not it's safe to be vulnerable with someone. It's not safe to be vulnerable with everybody. All right. There are going to be people that you cannot and should not be vulnerable with. And in those cases, absolutely build the walls, do whatever it takes to keep yourself safe. But you also want to be able to open up that vulnerability between two people because that's where connection comes from. And that's where you get those deep, lasting friendships and relationships. So anyways, that was the last step, was the embody, like deciding, am I willing to do the hard? Am I willing to surrender? Am I willing to trust that this is what I want, that this is the person that I want to be, and that I get to be this version of myself? I think that's a big thing too, is we have this idea of how other people see us, and we like to create this facade of like, oh, I'm so funny and silly and friendly and flirty. But in reality, maybe you're more reserved, or maybe you're more, one of the people that observe before they speak up. And so we can be scared about being that authentic version of ourselves because maybe that version of ourselves was not as radically accepted as the bubbly cute version. But the bubbly cute version isn't truly authentic to how you feel and what feels comfortable for you. And so as you're going through this process, just learning to come back to yourself, learning to accept that there are people that are going to love me and people that are going to hate me, and that's going to have nothing to do with me, right? Because if it had anything to do with you, everybody would have the exact same opinion of you. So realizing that I want to show up as the most authentic version of myself, and I trust that when I do, the right people will be brought to me. And yeah, that's just like one of the really, really neat things about this grace model, about shifting out of the fear and out of the worry and out of those emotions that keep us stuck into the emotions that are so much more freeing, into the emotions of peace and surrender and love and acceptance. Because when we are operating in that frequency, in those emotions, we are so connected to our feminine energy. We are so connected to our intuition. We naturally move and go places and with people that are going to build us up and help us to be safe. So this was a really, really good session with Angie. It was really fun to watch her transform from the fear and the worry and the anger of her situation into just the most peaceful, relaxed, like it was a completely different person. It was so fantastic and so neat to watch her. And then I've been getting random little texts from her every now and again from the different people that she's interacting with and just how she feels. She feels so confident being herself. She's not afraid of people not liking her because she's just decided, you know what, I don't want people that don't like the real version of me. I'm tired of entertaining people that just like the fake or the pseudo version of me. Like, I'm okay letting those types of people go. I'm okay not attracting those types of people. And it's really neat when you can get to that point where you're like, I love me and I like me. And if other people don't, that's okay. I trust that God is going to bring the right people to me. So if you want any help working through the grace model, if you want any personal coaching, I would love to work with you. I would love to help shift your mindset and get you to where you want to be so that you are living in and seeing the reality that you want to see. If any of that sounds good, I've got links below that you can click. And also, if this episode resonated with you, please like and subscribe and share this with other people so that we can share the information that other people can use it to heal. I mean, that's what it's out here for. This is why I'm doing it, is because I want the healing of the collective whole. I want this to be available so that people can choose into the realities that they want. They can choose into the way that they are showing up and the way that they feel. So I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you in the next video.